Back to the daily grind, and shout out to the full-time patrons. Make sure to hit subscribe if you're new and hit thumbs up if you're not a baby back bagel biting bitch boy, cause you know what time it is. It's full time.
MMA.
Holy flying flipping flapjacks, full-time family. I have to admit, after all the excitement and entertainment has died down and you realize and everything sets in, Conor McGregor is looking like a real jackass. Now, he's looking like a loyal jackass, but at the same time, man, you know, just when you look at everything that happened, whether it's, you know, Matt Brown, Dana White said it was a pretty bad cut on his head and maybe his arm. Not Matt, God damn it, I just confused it again. I'm sorry, my bad. Last video I said Matt Brown. It's Michael Chiesa. Michael Chiesa. Matt Brown was also injured recently and forced out of his fight with Carlos Condit, so that's why it's confused me. Matt Brown was recently injured, but it was not in this incident. Michael Chiesa was on the bus. He's supposed to fight at UFC 223, and he's the guy that was supposed to be cut whenever somebody threw something at the bus window. Now, I didn't know that there was a fucking dolly thrown. They were throwing dollies. All I saw was Conor McGregor like throwing that, you know, partition looking thing, and I heard, you know, Rose Namajunas, she was injured, but there was a lot of fake news going around saying that, you know, this incident might have, you know, forced Rose Namajunas out of her fight. That's not the case. She showed up yesterday with the splint on her hand. That had nothing to do with this incident. So with that being said, Rose Namajunas was still in the bus, and that's another thing. You know, you had these girls on the bus, and yes, they are fighters, but you got this gangster Conor McGregor squad throwing shit at the windows. You know, what if that dolly goes all the way through the window and hits one of these ladies in the fucking head? That's trash. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, Conor McGregor is looking like a real jackass at this point. At the same time, man, Conor McGregor and Khabib have been supposed to fight. We know the situation yesterday when Khabib ran into Artem Lobov in the hotel lobby, and supposedly that's really what all of this is stemming from. So, you know, Conor McGregor does look like, hey, y'all fuck with my boy, but, you know, he still crossed the lines, man. Whenever you're throwing dollies at a bus with other fighters, you got to handle that, you know, like you're in the UFC. You can fight this guy in the octagon, but I get it. This is past octagon. You know, you and your whole crew confronted my guys. Conor McGregor touchdown, and he's pissed off. I gotta crack a joke though, because I was listening to Felony Charles Bennett's live stream, and he said, so Conor McGregor did all of this because his guy teammate got, you know, like he made it sound really funny. Either way, he said Conor McGregor's getting a little defensive over Artem. That's all he's saying. But at the same time, I mean, Dana White said Artem Lobov had to change hotels after the Khabib incident. We saw Khabib and his crew run into, you know, Artem Lobov, and they had their little thing. Khabib slapped his neck a little bit, let him know, don't call me a coward in the media. But at the same time, Artem was kind of outnumbered there. So, with that being said, Artem Lobov like had to move hotels. You know what I'm saying? That don't look good. You know, these niggas made you move out your spot. Conor McGregor touches down like, y'all are not about to run my boy out of his own hotel. Put your hands on my dude, because we wasn't with him. You know how that is. Somebody fucks up, you jumps your boy. Like, yeah, but if we were all there, y'all wouldn't have had the same energy. So even though they didn't jump Artem, they confronted Artem when he was by himself, and he had to, you know, do what he had to do, leave the hotel, and now they're here and they're pissed off. So yeah, Conor McGregor did cross the line, but it's because, you know what I'm saying, I don't even want to say when you're a gangster, because Conor McGregor's a gangster, but I'll just say, you know what I'm saying? That's disrespect, major disrespectful, especially if it's your brother that happened to. I mean, you can say what you want about Conor McGregor crossing the lines, because he did. And, you know, for the UFC, I understand why Dana White's so pissed off. Conor McGregor might have risked a lot of money here. You know what I'm saying? With putting this fights in jeopardy on this card. The co-main event, Michael Chiesa's fight, putting those fights in jeopardy. Putting the Khabib fight in jeopardy. What if Khabib reacts like, you know what, fuck UFC 223. Conor threw fucking dollies at our van. Are you kidding me? What if Khabib's squad takes that serious? Now we got a whole nother, they're not even thinking about their job. This is Khabib's job. You know what I'm saying? They're not, it's past work, bro. You know what I'm ready to, they're ready to take this farther than the UFC with these guys throwing dollies at the window. So all of this, you know, Conor McGregor does need to chill, you know what I'm saying? Dana White's pissed off. He said the Mac Life guys let Conor in through the back door. You know, Mac Life, turn that off. You know, the Mac Life guys, they have media credentials, so you know, cameramen, all of that. So they were already in place to do their media thug dizzle. They let Conor in through the back door. Boom, that's how he got in. So that's how everything happened. With that being said, I want to cover a couple different different angles of this in the same video. So we had Dana White going off on Conor McGregor. He's pissed off, saying he might be arrested. This is absolute. He said, Dana White said this is the most despicable thing that's ever happened in UFC history. Now, with that being said, because in my last video I was like amped, like, yo, am I too excited for this? Like, but it's because it's really entertaining. It's not because I'm like amping Conor up to be a piece of shit. It's because the stuff is entertaining. Like, yo, Khabib confronted Artem. Now Conor's here. He touched down. He's in town. He's coming back. Now, yeah, when people get injured, females get injured, the shit gets, you know, across the line. I get it. And so Dana White is really pissed off, you know, at Conor McGregor. He said, yo, I think everybody's mad at Conor. Why would anyone want to do business with Conor right now? Okay, so I hear that. So all I'm saying is, if that's the case, if, you know, everybody's got to be mad at Conor McGregor now because he did this, and it's the most despicable thing that in UFC history, well, then I hope we see the UFC levy down some sort of suspension on Conor McGregor. You know what I'm saying? Because Dana White's acting like this is the scum of the earth move, and everybody needs to hate Conor McGregor now for this. You know what I'm saying? He might be arrested. You know, he might have hurt Rose Namajunas. He did hurt Michael Chiesa. Okay, well, then this seems like some stuff the UFC might need to do, you know, a suspension. Okay, so did Conor McGregor just ruin UFC Russia? I don't know. We'll see what happens, because UFC is scheduled to go to Russia sometime later this year, I hear, and you would think this would be amazing promotion for you if Conor McGregor were to go to Russia and fight Khabib Nurmagomedov. But if Conor McGregor crossed the line, and this is the most despicable thing in UFC history, he might be facing a suspension. If Dana White or the UFC doesn't act against Conor McGregor for this, that would be very surprising with the energy that they're giving off of how despicable this act was. So we'll see if Conor McGregor, maybe he gets like a 6-month suspension. I don't know when the UFC's going to Russia. 3-month suspension. Maybe he can serve a suspension and still go fight Khabib in Russia. But all I'm saying is, the way it's looking, Dana White and the UFC, I would not be surprised if they handed down a suspension to Conor McGregor for these actions, the most despicable actions in UFC history. Now, with that being said, let's cover a couple other things. It's covering the same topic, just, you know, like Nate Diaz. He also reacted to this. He said, I already slapped and punked both of these guys and their teams. I covered this in the longer 40-minute thing when this was all breaking, but Nate Diaz on Twitter, that's what he had to say. He said, yo, I already slapped and punked both of these guys and their teams, though, so that's none of my business. You know, he's saying he has got into it with both of these guys and their crews. The Strat Pack, Nate Diaz's team, has got into it with Khabib's team before, you know, like squad versus squad type shit. And then we saw when Conor McGregor and Nate Diaz were about to be fighting, when Conor was, you know, they started throwing the water bottles first, and that's when Conor McGregor responded by throwing water bottles back, picked up the Monster Energy cans. So Nate Diaz has got into it with both of these guys' teams before, but at the same time, Nate Diaz, you know, has been doing his own thing, whether it's smoking weed, doing his, you know, doing appearances, making money. He fought Conor McGregor. He's got a lot of money. He hasn't been very active, but he has been active on Twitter. Nate Diaz hasn't been very active in the octagon, but he does make sure whenever something like this happens to take his little Twitter jab, which, hey, I mean, it keeps his name a little relevant. Nate Diaz is getting pretty good at that. You know what I'm saying? He hasn't been. When's Nate Diaz? Honestly, people give Conor McGregor shit for the last time he fought. Conor McGregor fought at UFC 205 when he fought Eddie Alvarez. That was UFC. He also fought Floyd Mayweather since then. Nate Diaz hasn't fought since UFC 202. He, you know, first it was like bike season. You know, these guys got to make me want to fight. They started talking shit. These guys got to ask me nicely. They started asking nicely. I'll be back in May or June. It's April. So with that being said, Nate Diaz did respond, take his little jab for whatever that's worth. Let me know what you think about that in the comments. Now, supposedly these photos are getting taken down on Instagram. These were photos that appeared on an MMA website of allegedly Khabib looking shook while Conor McGregor tore down the bus. Now, I have to admit, when I saw these videos, I was like, damn, come on, why y'all doing my boy Khabib like that? I mean, he might have looked shook in a couple still frames, but it's because the first one, you don't know if he's shook or if he's like, yo, is this pussy serious? And then in the second one, he looks like he could be like, I can't wait till I get my hands on you. But some people are saying Khabib looks shook. I don't think that's the case, but let me know in the comments, do you guys think Khabib looks shook in these photos? Or do you guys think Khabib looks like he's ready for that action? You know, because afterwards he did say, yo, drop that location. Khabib, you know, he was kind of like Artem, you know, he didn't have his whole squad here. Conor McGregor, they rushed the bus, motherfucking 20 people throwing dollies and trash cans and barricades. He's kind of outnumbered, kind of like Artem was, who had to move hotels previously. So this stuff's getting real between these squads, between Khabib and Conor McGregor. This could be an amazing fight if these guys are in the same division, Conor McGregor and Khabib, if it's ever put together. But if Conor McGregor doesn't get arrested, if Conor McGregor doesn't get punished by the UFC, and if Khabib beats Max Holloway, a lot of things have to happen for that fight to even be mentioned. But as of right now, these guys really don't like each other, and their squads have been getting at it. Conor McGregor is in town for UFC 223, which is this Saturday. I'll keep you guys updated. We need to know what's going on with Michael Chiesa. Is he injured? Is he off the card? What's going on with Rose Namajunas? Supposedly she just got off the bus and walked away like, man, fuck this. She was pissed off. So her mental might be affected going into this fight. We saw the splint on her hand like yesterday. Man, Rose Namajunas, things are starting, man, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of big drama show. This is the UFC, the Ultimate Fighting Circus. Let the full-time family know what you think about this in the comments. I'm out. And as always, thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button and also hit the notification bell right next to it so you're notified every time I upload a video. I'm out.
Da 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 da. It's the motherfucking DOWG.